into like the nitty gritty, so to say. I do want to just thank Family First Life, Zach Trudowski, Sean, Mike for giving me and Rami this opportunity today to have the chance to get in front of you guys and hopefully help you guys take your business to the next level. So thank you guys for always looking out for the greater good of the entire company. We truly appreciate it. Just to kind of hit the call off before we jump into our 4 main points we're going to go on. I've always been big in this business on if we can simplify things down to just attainable, essentially activity-based goals or things we're going to do every single time, it makes it that much easier. So today we're hoping to give you 4 steps to get an agent up and started to up and selling at the level that they want to be doing that at. So just to kind of hit the call off, introduce myself. I'm Marysa Maggio out of Boston, Massachusetts, and been in the insurance industry since right out of college. Haven't been with Family First Life the whole time, but definitely really planted my flag here for the last 4 years or so, and have no intentions of going anywhere else because this is the absolute best vehicle that we could possibly be in such an amazing industry. So shout out to Sean, Mike, and everybody that's put Family First Life together. And Rami, thanks for being on with us today. How are you doing?
Doing great, Marysa. And I want to say as well, thank you guys for having us on today. So I'm just going to touch on guys on a little bit of just how we get agents started and just how we get them going fast. And first, just a little bit about myself. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, like you guys know. Been in the industry for 3-4 years now. So my 4th year in the business. So guys, the biggest thing is prospecting and initial to basically being able to find the ones you want to work with. You have to understand, there are 2 ways mainly, like Sean Mike says, to truly guys get that prospect. The first way would be through organic growth, right? More market, XYZ, things like that nature. Then of course, acquisition as well. Now, what I mainly focus on, we focus on the group, is basically just understanding 3 main things, guys. Is having, the right foundation for success. You want to enjoy who you're working with, most importantly. Now, I'm blessed enough to work with people I love, like Marysa, Christina, the whole team is great. I mean that. So you guys want to kind of emulate that. You want to find people you enjoy working with first and foremost. Second, you want to make sure that they understand the culture, right? Like what they're actually going to be doing here. But guys, what got me in this business was social media, right? I just see on Marysa posts all the time, guys, issue paid numbers, recruiting, and it always got me intrigued. So guys, social media is a very big force you can use and tool in order to recruit those prospects. Now, on the cold market side, as you all understand, we can do ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, many different ads. But what I would definitely, is caution within this business, warm market is the way to go because I had blind faith coming to business, guys. I understood that the person who brought me in, they're not trying to hurt me. And I mean that. Like, think about it. If you know your friend, your family, they're working here, you're going to feel more comfortable or believe what they're saying, right? If Marysa tells me, hey, Rami, do XYZ compared to John Smith. John Smith told me to do so when I worked in the hospital. I might have said, hey, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't want to. I didn't have that, that trust, that belief. I may have belief in myself, but not in that person. And when you have a warm market, they already understand you. They know who you are to an extent, right? They have an understanding that you're not looking to hurt them. So guys, focus on warm market, guys, is a major way to kind of grow in this business and kind of get going fast. Because with cold market acquisition, you can definitely bring on, some big players on the board. You can hire some people, but it'll take some work. You have to really handhold them. We call it business welfare, right? Just basically, understanding there's no magic, that everybody come to business and do the same thing. We have to, handhold them first and foremost. And then Marysa will touch on a little bit more about the screening process of really, how we're going to discuss with the agent, how we bring them on and make sure they are a right fit. Not only if they're our friend or family, we want to make sure that, again, they will do the work they're going to say they're going to do.
Absolutely. And, one thing I kind of always hold near and dear to my heart when people are like, I don't want to, we send out these 2 videos. And guys, one is the Zach FAQ video. The other one is the Sean Mike 5-minute overview, which I hope everybody on this call has watched at one point or another. The biggest thing when we get an agent started, guys, is if we can give them a step and they do that step and they come back and they're saying, what's next, right? So when you're, somebody shows interest, as an example, I use Rami because we were in a relationship, guys, and like I made Rami watch the videos. Like he was around me seeing what things looked like on a day-to-day. And I was like, that's great. You want to get started? Love you. I need you to watch the videos. And he was like, okay. He kind of looked at me and then he was like, all right. And he watched the videos, but he had a better understanding by the end of watching those videos of what we do here, right? Because I was like, you're going to get chargebacks. You're going to have all these things happen. But like, that's the downside. I also need you to see the upside, the in between, the middle, so that you're not having high highs and low lows, right? And that goes for everybody that comes in. So, how do we screen an agent, if you will? Just like Rami was talking about, there's been times in this business where I felt like I had the best team in the world in terms of the people on the team actually caring about the people on the team. Guys, that's a great culture to have. When that culture gets messy, things can look a lot messier. So we want to make sure we're bringing the right people in. All you need is one cancer to mess with your whole culture, right? And I say that in a loving way. Sometimes people don't know they're cancers. They don't realize how negative they're being. They don't realize like they're not doing what they got to do, right? So what do? Now, if you're coming in, you're brand new, you don't hold a license, prior to getting you into that pre-licensing, we used to shoot that thing out like the pre-licensing, like if you had a pulse, you got the pre-licensing email and like you got a free pre-licensing code. Guys, think about the actual cost of that, right? We have people complaining, and guys, I love you. Like when I came into the industry, like I did not have a lot of money, be clear. Like I wasn't like, I want to be in life insurance. But my point is, guys, is giving people a step and then them being able to follow it. So when I get off the phone with somebody, I feel like they are going to be a good fit. I'm going to take a step back and talk about what that conversation kind of looks like. Now, I don't care if it's my best friend's friend, if it's my best friend, or if it's John Smith from ZipRecruiter. We need to have the same type of conversation, so to say. Now, first thing, they watch those 2 videos or I'm not talking to you. And I'm going to know if you watched the videos or not, because I'm going to get that cool little email that tells me that you watched it. And if you tell me you didn't watch it, that's just really weird. And I'm probably just going to be like, hey, you're not a good fit. And guys, it's okay to tell somebody they're not a good fit for your team. You should hold yourself to a standard of like, if the person isn't willing to do this, I don't want to work with them, right? So watch the 2 steps, watch the 2 videos. From there, we're going to collect an intake form. That intake form essentially is just consisting of, we'll drop the videos in if Rami, if you want to do that. That intake form is essentially just their basic background information from their name, their date of birth, their email, best way to reach them, their social, all these good things. Because guys, when we're giving somebody something, they need to be showing us commitment back. So I get off the phone with, let's just say John, and I'm like, actually, I think John could be a really good fit for the team. He's excited. He's ready to get into pre-licensing. I'm going to give him the expectation. Hey, I'm sending you over this new agent intake form. Once you fill it out, send it back to me. And now I'm assuming John is in a state that he can schedule his exam. John, once you schedule your exam there in Alabama, I'm going to go ahead and send out the pre-licensing to you. Now, why do we do it that way? We do it that way because we don't need to be shooting pre-licensing vouchers out to people that are not going to use them, guys, right? Like we need to be shooting pre-licensing vouchers out to people who are ready to move, right? That want to move with us. So they're scheduling that exam if possible before getting the voucher. Once they get the voucher, they have the expectation of like, hey, if you don't complete this within, 7 to 10 days, you have a lot lower probability of passing the exam. Now, guys, we say that for 2 reasons. A, because it's true, which I think is really important. And like B, because if somebody's taking longer than that, unless it's like anticipated, it's not really making sense, right? And then asking questions within the interview process, right? So like, how do I know John was a good fit, right? Some of the questions I'm going to ask him are like, what are you doing for work now? Let's just say John's like, I'm a car dealer, right? I sell cars, right? At a car dealership. Okay, awesome. And what has you looking for something new? Now, if John's like, well, I saw this as a virtual position where you get to work from home and on your own time, and that's the main reason that he wants to work here. Like we all know if you work here, like, that's not going to be a good fit. Yes, we are able to work from pretty much anywhere and everywhere. But in the beginning, like we need that locked in commitment of like, you're going to learn how to literally change a career path, right? So what are you doing for work right now? Now, he can tell me all about the car dealership. If he's like at the car dealership, I hate it because they just want me to like work so hard and it's just this many hours. And I hate that I have to work 40 hours a week. Like, I'm not really, I'm hearing John complaining already about what he's currently doing. Now, it's okay to be like, I don't like what I'm currently doing, but what I like about it is that I have the ability to learn how to communicate with people. I'm looking for them to take something good out of what they're already doing, right? And that could or couldn't be applicable to the insurance industry. Just like, what are you doing for work now? What got you looking for something new? If they're like they're talking about their manager, they're talking about how they're like, is that somebody that you'd want to be in business with? When people start going crazy down that kind of road, I'm like, okay, like it might not be a good fit. And guys, it's completely okay again to just be like, hey, John, I don't think you're going to be a good fit for our organization. Best of luck on your career search. A lot of people have a hard time doing that. It's as simple as that one liner. Like, I don't think you're going to be a good fit for the team. Best of luck on your career search, right? You're doing them a disservice if you're bringing them in knowing they're not going to be a good fit for your team. Why the life insurance industry, right? Like, why do you want to be in life insurance? Guys, when I went into, and again, I was not with Family First Life, but when I went into life insurance, right, I didn't understand fully based off the ad that was perceived that it was life insurance. But when I got there, I had lost my mom a year prior. So I knew life insurance was important, right? Like, I knew it was important. I was like, I don't really understand this. I'm like, you know, like 19, 20 years old, barely legal, but like this looks like it's important, right? So why the life insurance industry? If you can't give me something of substance, like I like to help people, or I think that putting people in a better financial situation. In the beginning, guys, a lot of our reasons are going to be money. But if it's only money, I can tell you right now that agent has a lot less of a chance of lasting. If it's just, I want to make money for myself and be selfish and I don't care about anybody else. That is complete opposite nature of this business, so to say. Another good question I like to ask people once I'm explaining, they understand, they watch the videos, right? They don't understand leads, they understand lead spend, they understand what we're going to be working like, they understand their schedule is going to be followed, they understand that we're going to treat it like a W-2, if you will. With that being said, we're going to ask them, you know, now, John, your first lead investment, guys, I'm huge on your upfront lead investment. Like, I love everybody, but like I had to come into this business broke too, guys. And like, you can find $300 to $500. You just have to find it. Like, I promise you, like I was just as broke as you, if not worse. You can find it if you want to find it. Now, if somebody's going to give you a handout, and I'm not saying lead assist programs are bad. I'm just saying I haven't seen them work crazy successfully for my group. And that's my group particularly. Now, with that being said, I'm going to ask John. Now, John, your original lead investment, as we talked about upfront, is going to be $500. Now, John, if you spend that $500 in your first week and you don't see results, what does that look like for you? And look, they're going to probably sound a little bit confused. They might say something like, I'm going to be a little bit like, you know, like I really want to be like, well, what about the leads? What about this? You need to see them take some self-accountability. All I want them to do is be like, you know what? I could be like, maybe I'll take that $500. I'm going to continue to dial on the leads. I'm going to get some objections. I'm going to get some, but I got better this week. I want to hear them talk about like, as long as I'm getting better, I'm moving in the right direction. Guys, this is a business. We don't learn everything overnight. As long as we're getting 1% better every day, like we're doing the best we can. And that's all anyone's asking for. And then kind of like last question here would be like something along the lines of, what would be the biggest thing that would hold you back from seeing success in a 1099 sales position? What's the biggest thing that would hold you back from seeing success in a 1099 sales position? The reason I asked that is when I got hired into the life industry, somebody asked me that. And I told them the biggest thing that would hold me back was that I had a really big commitment to the gym. And that was that's the biggest thing that would hold me back. Now, if somebody's giving me 21 things that are going to hold them back, like, well, on Mondays, sometimes my schedule changes and I'm part-time, so maybe I can dedicate like 4 hours to the business. They're not going to be a good fit. So those are just some screener questions that I can find out or identify just with a couple of questions. Hey, is this going to be something where I'm going to feel like I'm pulling you across the finish line? Because guys, over time, you can pull a couple people across the finish line, but you can't pull hundreds. And so it's going to start to feel tedious, so to say. So with that being said, once we kind of identify that new agent is somebody we'd want to be in business with, Rami's going to hit on, you know, setting standards and expectations, you know, once that person is indeed licensed.
So guys, like Marysa said, if you guys would pick on the main thing really for a new agent is structure and schedule to really get them going, guys. And I'm sure all of us has some expectations or standards we have in our own life, whether it be, you know, time we want to wake up, you know, gym hours, things of that nature. And I really mean that. Now, I want all of us to really look at our life inside out and see, am I following my own structure with my own individual life? In the beginning, guys, I lacked. I'll be very direct. You know, at times I like to wake up early, but I like to sleep in at times. I'm not gonna lie. There were days in the beginning that I understood that I have to adjust my mindset to say, you know what, in order for me to tell my agents to follow the structure and schedule, I have to stick to a structure and schedule. So I want everybody to first stick to your first structure and schedule you're going to do. Say what you're going to do, whether it be a 31-day goal, 90-day goal. It depends on how your brain operates. But write it out, guys. Every morning, write out what you want your day to look out. Will look like Dave answered the first hour, master that per se, right? If you guys can do that from within, then start focusing on the agents. Because again, if you don't do it first, you can't replicate it for somebody else. But for a new agent, guys, traditionally, structure and schedule comes down to main things, guys. Income producing activities during income producing hours, right? As a new agent, the main thing they have to do and understand is in order to get paid fastest is they have to get on the phones, right? Being in telesales, I was face-to-face guys for 3 years fully in the business. Now, all I did, I took my face-to-face in the field and I translated it completely over the phone 100%. I didn't change anything. So the schedule I'm going to talk about, guys, is going to be the traditional full-time schedule. So the new agents, they have to come in, guys, and as we know, dial that Mondays for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, by nature alone. They should understand that those 2 days, no matter what, they should be in the office, locked in, and dialing, getting down to the leads for lead resolution. But being on telesales, we all understand that we can have a really bad Monday, right? If that happens, we have to know that on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're able to continue and get the same results, but not the bad results, the better results. How to do so? Every single week we buy, like we're saying, lead flow. You have to understand, guys, that lead flow is cash flow in this business, right? If you don't have leads, don't expect to issue 20, 30, 40 families a month. Just not going to happen because what's going to happen is you're going to run out of prospects to contact. You're going to bang your head against the wall. You're going to blame yourself, the leads. You're going to come up with 18 limiting beliefs that are not true. They're all just inside the thought, inside your mind. You need to adjust that to understand that having the proper mindset is going to be able to get you through it. Because, guys, this business is survival of the fittest, to be very blunt, right? It's the ones that can persevere, make it through year one, year two, understand those concepts. But as a new agent, you don't want to overload them. The main thing is, again, is understanding their schedule. So have an agent say, okay, you're full-time in this business. All right, did you work 40 hours in a different job? Okay. Now, if we're able to allocate your same hours and same energy into this vision here, being a 1099 independent contractor, do you think you can have better results, right? Like Marysa said, asking those challenging questions and figuring out where the agent's at. If you guys can meet your agent where they're at, it makes it much easier to scale your business because you're not wasting your time on the people who don't want to grow, who don't want to issue 20, 30, 40 families, where they just want to make a couple extra $1,000 for themselves. You don't want to allocate time to people that aren't going to, bring profit to the business per se, right? You want to focus on the 20% that's going to bring that 80% of that results. So for the new agent, I always go back to in the business is again saying the standard that you're going to be calling from dusk of dawn to the nighttime, right? So the second, 8 a.m. hits, you're on the phones early. You're getting through 200, 300, $400 a day. On average, you guys, the new agent should be doing $500 a day with an automated dialing system. If you're manually dialing, around $300 to $400 a day. That's the first expectation standard they have, the dials. Second, lead flow. They have to understand that having at least $500 to $1,000 lead spend every Monday and every Thursday is going to give them enough at bats in order to get those numbers. Because everyone on this call, Hall of Fame producers, rookie producers, if you give us all the same at bats, we're going to have pretty much the same results, right? Some may fluctuate, give or take, but it's a numbers game. Guys, in this business, I always look at it as 20% will buy from anybody, 20% will buy from nobody, 6% will buy from, so will need to be turned the curiosity into intent, right? They need to kind of be understood their why, find the PowerPoint, understand that, hey, this is your problem, here's a solution. So as a new agent, in order for them to get that 20%, just dial the phones, income producing activity during income producing hours. The purchasing leads is to have that cash flow and lead flow because it's like going to a gas station, guys, with no gas. You can't expect to fill a car and go, drive a long duration without the gas, correct? So understand that lead flow is that. And then, guys, most importantly, what I like to do for expectation as a new agent, you want to get 100 no's in a row. Like I say, guys, you want to get 100 no's as fast as you can because the more no's you're going to get, the more yeses will come. Because by nature, guys, if I'm myself, when I'm calling to my mortgage leads or my own final expense leads, and I'm getting through and I'm getting told no, 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 I go back to me being a new agent. And I think, you know what? I was excited to get those no's because I knew that at the end of the day, once I'm able to get to that yes, I have new energy. I feel rejuvenated. I'm back at it. Rinse, wash, and repeat. Now, of course, guys, as you progress throughout the business, your skill set is going to get, sharpened, right? You're going to sharpen your pencil per se. You're going to now begin to allocate money for time or time for money. That's when you start doing different, lead generation, lead flow, the whole nine. But the first thing, again, you have to issue guys that 20, I call it 20, 20,000, 20 families help mark. You want to make sure you're hitting that before you're dibbling into any new lead generation or any type of buying a new category. Master your sale, master that one lead type, right? Get you singing the same song over and over. Because in this business, in order to scale it, if Marysa sounds just like me, I sound just like Marysa, Christina sounds just like myself, Heather sounds like Christina. Now we can replicate that process. Desiree sounds like Christina. Now it keeps going down the chain. Now, guys, everybody's singing the same song. Now, all it comes down to is who believes in themselves, right? For mindset purposes, I'll touch on momentarily, and who has enough leads. Now, if I have more leads, I have more numbers. And again, guys, more numbers, guys, means more contacts. More contacts means more appointments. More appointments means more sales. And make sure, guys, you're telling the agent to do a dial tracker. I know it sounds very cliche, but everyone here should be counting their dials. Everybody. If you're not, how do you know your ratio? Because as a new agent, guys, if again you're counting your dials and let's say you're calling 500 people, but you're talking to 100 and booking zero, there's something you're saying that's not booking appointments. Now, let's say you're only talking to 10 people, but you're booking 5 appointments. That's pretty good. If you've got 50% pickup ratio and, they all basically booked. So that's not a bad ratio. But if you don't have those numbers down, you don't know if it's my script. Do I have to work on my appointment per se? Things of that nature. So work on the ratios, guys, so you can actually track your KPIs to grow the business and actually get the profit. Now, mindset is very, very, very important, guys, because mindset in this business can take a lot from you, but it can give you a lot. What I will tell you is, thankfully, I think in our hierarchy in our business, that we all have a very strong mindset that we'll have bad days, but we know that the team needs us, that we understand that we need each other. So I know that no matter what happens, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to call my clients because, guys, they're family at the end of the day. If that was my mom or dad on the other side of that phone, and any of you guys are having a bad day, and my mom needs that life insurance, I pray to God that all of you are going to act like you have the best day ever. You guys woke up with $1 million in your bank account. You're talking to my mom that you want to protect her and that you're not going to let your negativity from work, drag you down or outside of work. I don't know if you guys have seen the show Severance. I'm not going to talk too much about the show, but it's a show where they break down the guy's thoughts where when he leaves work, he doesn't remember anything from work. When he's outside of work and he's at work, he can't remember anything when he's outside. So he's two different selves. At work, he's one self, and outside of work, he's a different self. At work, he's super happy. Outside of work, he's very depressed. He doesn't even know that though, but at work, he's the most efficient self because he's separating his mindset. He's understanding that I need to, get down to the grit of things. I need to get down in the trenches and work with the agents and to get them going. So, guys, if I don't have a good mindset, the ups can get up, the downs can get down, right? And that's what I'll leave you guys with is that just be coachable as well, guys, as a new agent. That's another expectation to stand. They have to understand they need to plug in. And I used to say, make your car a rolling university. Nowadays, we're not in the field anymore, so you can't say that anymore. But what I would say is make your environment a rolling university. Stay constantly plugged into these calls, guys. Constantly plugged into the TNL, the True Talk. If you see your top producer that you're like, hey, I resonate with this, his or her, and I think I can relate to them and I want to know more about them, reach out, see what they're doing, see what they're saying on their script, see if you can join them on live dials, guys. And because if you're able to do that, you're going to be able to get all the training you need. And another non-negotiable for the team is live dials. I know I didn't lead with that because it's a given. I think everyone understands the power of an office, that you need to have an office mindset. And not everyone here is able to go to an office like we are. But what I will say is hop on Zoom live dials. I see Clinton on here, Christina, Casey, a ton of you. I don't see all of you, but all you guys are on dial team, and guys, the team gets so much stronger because now me and Clint, we're not on the direct team, but he helps all the agent, we help his agent. There's no direct gain off each other, like monetarily, but we're growing with each other, right? We're all growing together. So guys, virtual office leader is extremely key. And that standard has to be there that everybody unmutes. And the first thing we do in the first 31 days, and we're implementing it, and we're of course we're tweaking, is getting new agents in one centralized room where they can unmute, and they have to be unmuted to dial so we can hear them. Because I know that all of you right now, if I told all of you guys, hey, unmute, you're probably not going to. I'll be very blunt. A few of you will who are used to talking, but the rest of you will not. The same aspect goes for a new agent and dial team. A lot of new agents get scared, guys, to unmute live. They don't want to get uncomfortable, but uncomfortability equals growth. So the best way to do that is either force them to get uncomfortable or put them in an environment where they think they're being comfortable, right? And you tell them, hey, unmute, get loud, and basically just go through your script. And what I would really recommend, guys, is having your agents get into that kind of live dial session where you can constantly give live feedback and constant critique. And I'll pass it on to Marysa.
Awesome. Thanks, Rami. And, last kind of fourth thing we're going to kind of hit on today is going to be getting agents paid fast. I've always been a big fan of this. I think that if we can, we can show an agent a deposit into our bank account, but until it hits their bank account, it doesn't feel real, right? So kind of getting agents up and going. One thing, just kind of being really transparent on this call, as I always am, being in the field and training agents is so much, it's just different. It's a different feel than being on Zoom with your team all day and kind of training your agents. So you have to have some type of structure built in there or you're going to drive yourself bananas. At least I did anyways. So, like Rami hit on, in terms of getting agents into live dials, like for us, if you're not on live dials or in the office, like physically in the office with us, it's just confusing. We're probably not going to work with you because, again, we're giving you a step and you're not moving with us, right? So, there's designated slots that we've made at this point. If you're too nervous to unmute in the main room, we've been doing kind of 3-hour breakouts, things like that. And it's been effective. Now, one thing I do want to point out about this, guys, is I don't know that needs to happen in terms of if you're on Zoom and there's 20 people in the main room. I don't know that there needs to be breakout rooms. That's up to you and your team. But at the same time, it's like, if we got to get you paid, I'm going to put you in an environment that's a little bit less uncomfortable, we'll say. And to be honest, guys, like for those agents out there that were in the field, like I kind of found myself getting upset the other day. I'm like, what do they want? What do you guys want me to do? Do you want me to call the people for you and make the sale? And some of you guys are on here like, oh my God, she's so mean and nasty for saying that. That's really not my point, guys. My point more so is like when we were in the field, it was like, here's your leads, call them. There might have been a phone script, right? Like, here's your phone script. Just tell you're calling about the request they sent in. And if they don't know, just verify the information. Kind of the same thing we're doing today, guys. And then like go in the house. And like, if you're not going to record yourself in the house, like when you come out, you better be open to feedback and it better not be, I said that. That's what I said. That's what I did. If that's what you said, that's what you did in the home. And we're giving you feedback on the phone. That was frustrating, but I was able to be like, hey, Rami, love you, but that's not what you said and did, because if that's what you said and did, then you would have helped Mary out, right? Now, with that being said, do I find myself thinking, okay, these breakout rooms are completely necessary? No, but if I found them to be extremely proactive and helping agents get up and making those first couple of sales, absolutely. So what we've done within our group is take 3-hour time slots each day and just push them aside and say, this is a new agent breakout room. Now, everybody's empowered to dial in that main room, but in that little breakout room, so to say, it's me, Christina, Rami, Heather. There's 2 leaders in there that are able to give real live feedback. Just like you think about a quarterback that's, playing football. Guys, I never played football, which is probably really clear. However, I do know that the quarterback communicates with their coach with that little mic thing in their ear, so to say. Now, same exact concept when we have a new agent on the phone, right? They can hear us on Zoom, and then they can also hear their client in one ear, and they can hear us in the other ear. And we're just telling them exactly what to say. They're like, oh, I already, you're like, I'm giving a call about that request you sent in about the veteran life insurance coverage. You remember that, right? And they're like, no, I don't remember. And we're like, it's the one where you put and they're like, it's the one where you put your date of birth as 2/26/87. Is that right? And they're like, yeah. Okay. And then they just go back to their script. But you're able to be that person in their ear that's just saying, do this, move left, move right. And now, guys, do we expect agents to lean on this for like a million times, like a million days? No. We expect agents to rush through those first 100 presentations, like Rami talked about at the beginning, making sure that they can get a lot of those kinks out. So now they're in the main room dialing and they feel comfortable. They know their script, they know what they're saying, and they know why they're saying it. And being able to use like that, mic analogy is something that you don't necessarily want to lean on for, your insurance career, because that would be tough. You're leaning on somebody else in order to see your success. But in the beginning, that's going to help your agents get paid extremely fast. And now if you're somebody out there that has a team and you're growing and you're like, I'm so sick of hearing about people going into breakout rooms and these live dials and blah, blah, blah. You have your live dials and you feel like it's working, it's not working. Whatever's working for your team and getting your new agents writing business, guys, that's what's going to work for you right now. It might not work in 6 months. It might not be the same exact dynamic. But my point is, guys, is do what is helping your newest agents. New blood is the lifeline of this business. It's going to keep you excited. It's going to keep other people excited. And quite frankly, what it's allowed me to do over the last, many years or so is give up my right to be average and ordinary, which allows me to level myself up. So if you're on this call and you don't want to do it for anybody but you, do it for you. Do it so you can get better. Do it so that you wake up earlier. Do it so that you're on time. Do it for you. If you're on this call, you're like, I'm kind of selfish. Continue to be selfish if that's what you need to be. But what you're going to realize in being selfish is, oh, shoot, we can help a heck of a lot more people if there's just more than one person, me, helping 400 families a year, right? We can help 4 million. We can help 40 million, right? There's a lot more we can do together, guys. So biggest thing there would be like, get your agents paid fast, get in front of them, get them uncomfortable, and show them you care. Hey, Rami, I'm giving you this feedback right now because I care about you. If I didn't care about you, quite frankly, I'd let you keep dialing the phone and saying, hi, is this Charles? I would let you keep going that way. It's, hey, Charles, this is Marysa getting back. If I didn't care, I wouldn't give you constructive criticism. And guys, I'm going to leave you guys with that. That's been given to me throughout my entire time in the insurance industry. And quite frankly, is probably one of the largest reasons that I've been able to grow to the point I can as a person and as an organization, is just through other people pushing me in this industry and showing me like, hey, you can be a better version of yourself. And quite frankly, if you're on this call and you're listening right now, like, you can be a better version of yourself. So do exactly that. Help other people get to where you were. Remember where you were when you got started and how much help you needed. But guys, outside of that, that's what I got. Rami, anything you want to wrap up with?
No, you did great, Marysa. And honestly, guys, as you said, guys, all it is up to you, basically, right? It's up to us to kind of get out there, just do the work, just stick what you're going to do, guys. And again, outline your next 31 days, your next 7 days. If you're not where you're at today, you will be eventually. Just make sure you're doing the proper steps, implementing it day in and day out, rinse, wash, and repeat. And you also get there eventually, guys. Just keep at it. Don't give up.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.